Hey, Vanessa here. I'm a photographer that shoots pretty much anything creative. I do self-portraits, I do still life, I do usually a lot of Photoshop. But today I am going to be showing you how I shoot with items from the dollar store for stock photography for book covers. I can get a lot of shots in, and there's not a lot of time in Photoshop for something like this. I did spend 6 hours doing this just a couple days ago, shooting, and then Photoshop was maybe like an hour just straightening things. So if you like shooting and you don't like a lot of Photoshop, this could be something that you want to do. So the first thing that I want to do is just show you guys what am I talking about? What am I shooting? When I say stuff from the dollar store, I'd say about 90% of it's from the dollar store, and a couple things are from thrift stores, and I have one item sitting here that is from Winners, so another discount store. I rarely spend like full price. I don't spend a lot of money if I can avoid it on things for shooting, for book covers, or for portraits or anything for that matter. I'm always at thrift stores and dollar stores, and I'm all about saving a buck and making a buck. So, so what I have here is I'll first explain my backgrounds. So when I'm shooting for book covers, for this shoot anyways, with still life, I am having the camera face down onto my setup, my items. And book covers really have a variety that you can go in. And one of the looks that I really like, because I also enjoy painting, is to have kind of like a painted background. So I buy these. They're just the boards. They're not the actual stretched canvas. They're just the canvas boards. They're $1.25. And what I like to do with them is just paint colored backgrounds. If anybody's interested in watching me make one of these, I am totally okay with making a movie for that, but I'm not sure about the demand, because honestly it's so simple that I don't even know if it would be worth it. It's literally just like I pick a color, I splotch it on there, and then I use a watered down white to try and get a little bit lighter in the center, and that's all that I did with this. This one actually, I put a little bit of blue after around the corners to get it was not as purple as I wanted it. It was more of a magenta color, so I did add some blue to get the right color. But if you have the right color in bottle, you're already good to go. So I did these. They take, well, I was rotating, so it's hard to say how much just one would take because you're waiting for it to dry in between. But it took me maybe like half an hour to make, I have 4, oh, my other one's here, to make 4 of these. So I made purple, blue, green, pink. I tried to make the patterns just like a little bit different. So some of them have more of like a cloudy brushed white, and this one's got more of like a streaky paint. So it's similar, but it does have a little bit different texture, which will show up in the photos as, it will show up in the photos as different, rather than just making one and then changing the color in Photoshop, and you always have this dark spot here and this streak here and this white spot there, just different color. I really wanted to have totally different canvases and have it obvious that the color is different. And for, you know, $1.25 for the board, the bottles of paint, which you can also get from the dollar store, also $1.25, and you're not using the whole bottle. So for that price, I can make all the colors that I want and just cut down on Photoshop time, not changing the color in Photoshop, which is just harder. So, and then I also have a pink one. My daughter set this up. just trying to show you. She set this up the other day after I was done. She was playing with it and she doesn't want me to touch hers until I take a photo of it. And I haven't yet, but this is essentially what I was doing. So what I have here, you'll get a better look at it later, but basically it's flowers and keys that have been set up with a heart shape around them on the board. It's super simple. One of the things that I get from the dollar store are little tiny fake flowers. These ones are made out of paper. I really like the texture of it, and it looks really great with the painted background. It's very crafty looking, and it just goes really well. And so what I would suggest is finding the flowers that you want to use and then matching your paint colors to that, because it's going to be a lot harder to pick a paint color and then try to find the matching flowers or contrasting flowers or whatever look you're going for. I personally really love like monochromatic color schemes that are all basically the same color in various shades or in textures. I really like that look, so I shoot still life with that theme a lot. I mix colors a little bit, but I don't do it as much. The reason why I do that is personally, for the aesthetic, I like it. Secondly, color symbology. It's just, I feel like if you have one strong color, and here's another thing that I got from the dollar store that I put on for backdrops and stuff, and I wouldn't do this because it's really messy. Maybe when I first bought it and it was all pretty, I would have the whole roll there. But just having like the string kind of swirling with some flowers. So when I have one strong color, the color psychology is clear. The symbolism isn't mixed. People subconsciously understand what shades of blue could represent. So that's why I like to pick with one strong color. You don't have to do that. It's just my personal preference, and how I tend to mix and match things is I'm usually looking for color and texture. So I've shown you the canvas. That doesn't have to be your only option for background though. You can use papers, you can use like a plain canvas or a watercolor paper, which is gonna have a totally different texture. I also got little pieces of burlap from the dollar store, and these are just squares. Like in the craft section or the decorating section, you can find all sorts of things. And so this is just a really awesome texture for that. And it's not like if I put flowers on it, obviously it's not the color scheme the same, but these types of twines and ropes. So if I had, I don't have one with me now, but if I had like a larger bunch of flowers, I could tie this in a nice pretty bow, wrap it like a little mini bouquet, and have the twine and the burlap, and it would look really great. So from the dollar store, there is a thicker rope that I've got from the dollar store. There is a smaller, it's got little leaves mixed into it. It's kind of like this twine. It's, what would you call this? It says vine trim. It's kind of like a, maybe like a scrapbooking thing, or I'm not sure what else you would use it for, but so I can put that on there. This came with just a green vine one that didn't have the burlap, and this looks really great. It looks really great with the flowers, because it's also, this is fabric, and then this is paper, and then you got the canvas background, so it's lots of texture, which photographs very beautifully. More flowers. These ones are fabric. They're just like little ribbons that have kind of been like rolled into flower shapes. You can use, I mostly got flowers, but you can use anything. So if you find, you know, pearls or butterflies or whatever, it all works. I've got just these like little plastic embellishments. They're bridal embellishments. They're little flowers. I've got these cute little scissors to throw in there. This is my item that I got from Winners, and they are keys. Winners is really actually great in their decor section for random stuff like this. Like seriously, if I'm shopping at not a thrift store or dollar store, I'm probably at Winners. I've gotten keys, I've gotten like a ceramic unicorn head, like just really random, but cool for photos stuff. These are just some wire flowers. These work great. Is there anything else? Ribbons. So if you're a creative person like me, chances are you actually already have a lot of this stuff. I feel like creative people tend to see things and be like, ooh, I could use that for something. And then they just kind of hoard it. So at least I do. Lots and lots of flowers, ribbons, all those things. This is a little frame. I've got two of them here. I've got a circle one somewhere. Frames, just little ones from not the dollar store. Maybe from the dollar store. These ones are from thrift stores. These ones are from Value Village. And so they look really awesome if you lay them on top and you put some of your items in there. Magnifying glass from the dollar store. And like I said, like this is just what I've been using the last couple days. You could use anything, whatever you have at home, whatever crafty items, any little knickknacks that you can arrange and make it look like a flat lay. Any of those things would work awesome. For myself, so the next thing that I want to talk about is lighting, and I do have some like just cheapy studio lights, but I prefer to shoot with natural lighting. So I just shoot by window. I just have a little table here. And I am gonna do like just a short film segment of me actually shooting because it's probably less interesting than you might think it is. I just set my stuff up here. I grab whatever little items that I want and need. I set up my cover like I'm gonna take a picture. I've got a tripod that tilts down so my camera just sits in one spot and I just click. Sometimes I use my remote so I don't even have to touch it and I just click the button. Today in Canada, it's a gloomy autumn and the light is actually not that bright in here. Like I have my video settings kicked right up just so that you can see me. But because I'm not shooting portraits and I'm shooting still life and literally nothing's moving, it doesn't really matter. The shadows are just really nice. They're just the natural shadows because I'm using natural light, so it just feels really like soft and pretty, like it is something just sitting there, which essentially it is. It doesn't have that super strobe studio light look to it. Like when you think of like maybe product shots, commercial product shots, somebody that's trying to sell something and it's like lit from all angles in a white, one of those little white boxes or something, that's not the look that I'm going for when I'm shooting the creative still life stuff that I'm doing for photos, for book cover photos. But cover photos, they need mood, and mood is not usually like buy this product. Mood is like you want to read this book, or you know, you want to intrigue their imagination about what is this book about and that kind of thing. So it's really about symbolism and mood, and not so much as just trying to make something look ultra swanky like those really high gloss ads look. So natural lighting I feel like is the best choice for myself, but if you're shooting something in a different style, like really book cover photography can be anything. So if you really want to go hard on the super swanky kind of ad style, you can. I haven't seen many book covers with that, but that's not to say that it'll never become a trend, because just like in any other photography genre, there are trends, they come and go, and maybe that will become more of a thing in the future. I personally really like the soft, moody, textury This does show a lot of texture because of the directional light, so it will catch on all of the like grooves in the canvas and stuff. So that's why I shoot just right beside the window, and I don't use lights, and it's okay because it's still life, nothing's moving. I can slow my shutter right down if I need to get the shot. I use a tripod. You don't have to use a tripod if you don't have a tripod, and if you don't have one that has the arm, the boom, I don't know the fancy lingo. It's the thing that holds the camera horizontal. If you don't have that, you can just hold it and just take a picture. That's fine. Like, it works just fine. If you're trying to slow it down, you might have a little bit of handshake, but just don't shoot on a gloomy day and you're set. Living in Canada doesn't always cooperate when it starts getting to be those colder months, but I make it work. So I hope that answered all of your questions. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will get back to you with any information that I can. If I missed anything that you're wondering about, I feel like I was pretty thorough and maybe even a little bit rambling, so you should be good, but just in case, feel free. I'm always available to answer questions. I'm going to actually do some shooting and let you guys see a little bit of how that goes. I am set up. I've got my camera on my tripod and my little table here ready. I've got my purple here and just a couple items. I went out into my garden looking for real flowers, and it's October. This is the only thing I found that's not half rotted. Although half rotted could totally work. So I'm going to stop talking. I'll probably speed up the video and just let you guys watch as I fiddle with the stuff and see how I'm using a remote, so you're not going to see me get up and down to trigger the camera. There it goes. Like I said, I want to bump it as the least amount possible. Since I'm shooting for book covers, I'm always keeping in mind that I need copy space for the author's name, the title, a little tagline. I need lots of room for that. So when I'm laying things out on the canvas, I lay it out in mind of like how words and things can be placed into the photo. So for example, the image that I just took right now is the little vines, like these things. And I have it kind of just curling along the top and then curling along the bottom, kind of in two lines, and then there's space above it, space in the middle, and space below for any writing that the designer needs to put into the image. It's one of the reasons why things like frames work really great is because it's a solid rectangle or square, or in the case of the other one that I have, an oval. And shapes like that are really eye-catching, but also the frames have a big empty space. So if I'm not filling that with flowers or something, there could be writing in there. Just the frame on the canvas alone could be a potential cover, and it's very simple. so that's it. You just sit there all day and switch around all your crafty things and take photos of it. I did that for 6 hours and I came away with 120 that I ended up submitting to my gallery. Those images haven't gone through the approval process yet, so I don't know how many have been accepted, but I can get back to you guys with that number as well, and you can decide for yourselves if it's worthwhile. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If there's any content that you want to see me make in the future, go ahead and leave suggestions for me in the comments, and subscribe to stay up to date with what I'm doing next, because I do a little bit of everything. I'm kind of all over the place. You never know what it's going to be. Probably more exciting than this. This is probably as boring as it's going to get.